August 1st, 2021. Emily and Dara sit down to record an episode of The Swamp and... ...
You know what that means in the olden days. Tee-hee-hee.
It means we're sitting down to record an episode this week on the infamous 2008 film, Mamma Mia.
Infamous? I would just say famous.
Is infamous?
Because I feel like infamous means like kind of bad, right?
I don't know.
Or like in a negative way.
Iconic.
Iconic. This is The Swamp.
Stands for some whack-ass movie podcasting.
And this month, we are going to bring to you some musical-related movies. And we're really excited. And honestly, we just debated for like 20 minutes whether we should open with singing. And you should be glad to know, in the comfort of wherever you're listening to this, that you didn't have to hear us sing. It'll honestly probably happen at some point during
this episode.
Like, yeah. But... we could have done that too, and we didn't.
Yeah,
so
you're welcome.
But so we're gonna be talking about Mamma Mia. If you didn't get our little intro bit, it's like when she's reading the letters. Okay, can we talk about for a second though, like how she's reading her mom's sex diary? I would have burnt that thing as soon as I don't even care that there were no explicit sexual descriptions in there. I would have been like, this is such an invasion of privacy, and I'm burning it.
Right.
Sophie is so invading her mother's privacy by reading her diary.
I watched this last night with my mom and my sister Alyssa, and Alyssa had the great point of bringing up the fact that Sophie is honestly the villain in this movie. She does some of the most out-of-pocket shit.
Yeah, I wrote, this is messy, and she asked for it. Like, as soon as shit starts to hit the fan, I'm like, what the fuck did you think was gonna happen?
Like, she passed out during Voulez-Vous, and I was like, honestly, good, Sophie. Get humbled.
that scene when they were all like, I think I'm your dad, and she's like, holy shit, what? I'm like, you invited all three of them. What do you think was gonna happen?
They can figure out basic math, Sophie. They know you're 20 years old.
But I love, so we chose musical month because we were just kind of brainstorming movies we wanted to do, and this I think was maybe kind of the origin point of wanting to do musicals month, because I know this movie is like super like comfort movie, totally a regularly watched movie in your household, because your mom and your sister, it's like your go-to like Saturday night wine in a movie.
100%.
Movie, right? I don't think I had really seen it as much as you. I had seen maybe like bits and pieces when it was on, like if my parents were watching it or something, but I definitely think that the first time I ever fully watched this movie all the way through was with Cole Amadeo, and because this is like his favorite movie. So for a while during college, I like squatted in Henry's apartment. I like didn't pay rent, but I like did the dishes, and Henry and all his boy roommates like kind of quasi let me live there. So I shared a room with Henry and his friend Cole, who we went to high school with, and Cole is just such like a funny enigma of a person. He's like a frat boy business major, but he like loves The Little Mermaid, and he loves Mamma Mia. So whenever it was like movie night and he was like, can we please watch Mamma Mia, and everyone would be like, are you fucking serious?
Deadly.
And he'd be like, yes, we're getting drunk. Yeah, he's like, we're getting drunk and watching Mamma Mia. Like I'm not having it any other way. So I think in college was the first time I watched it all the way through.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. And then I just remember you and your mom and your sister threw this amazing Mamma Mia watch party one time where you like made all these like Greek inspired foods, and we had Greek themed drinks, and your mom had blue candy because the Greek flag is blue. Like it was so like down to a T, thoughtfully organized, and it was so fun. I just remember, like, everything was so thematically inspired, and it was a really good time. And so I definitely think Mamma Mia is the perfect movie to, like, do a big watch party for. It's 100% so fun.
Agree. I don't think there's, like, a movie that's quite the caliber of fun that this movie is.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't say something bad about it. Like, you have to admit that it's just fucking fun to watch. Like, even if you don't like it as a movie, you can't not smile, like, and, like, dance.
I could be having some parts of it. The worst day of my life, and if I put Mamma Mia on, my mood would improve by, like, at least 50%.
Yeah, I would like watch this like alone in my apartment at like noon, and it just like in my pajamas, it just didn't feel right. I'm like, I should be in a sundress twirling around with 15 other ladies and like sipping sangria and living my best life. Like, why the fuck is that not happening? Why am I just alone on my couch?
This feels redundant.
It didn't sit right with me.
Because if you haven't seen Mamma Mia, I don't know what to tell you. Go watch Mamma Mia. But I feel like we should do a little recap for you. So pretty much the movie starts off with Sophie, who's played by Amanda Seyfried, sending out 3 invitations to these men she's never met to her wedding. And she sends the invitations because she's found her mom's diary and read it, and she's like, wow, there's a possibility that any of these 3 men are my father. And she's on this big...
Yeah, she's like, I'm 20. She's like, I'm 20 and I don't know who my dad is. And I conveniently found my mom's diary from 20 years and 9 months ago, where during that summer, she happened to fuck 3 different guys. So who's my dad? Also, did that fucking diary have their addresses in it? It had their full name, social security, and address in it for her to fucking send them letters.
Think that they have internet. I'm pretty sure that, like... That was a thing in the movie that Donna was like, Sky's gonna put me online or whatever. So I'm like, she better have like the most up-to-date Yellow Pages. I don't know how she figured it out. Mind you, she takes a boat in the middle of the night to the mainland to send these. She's going like full I get James Bond type shit.
It's very, like, To All the Boys I've Loved Before type beat. Like, let me send out these anonymous, mysterious letters and just fuck around and
to all my
find
dads
out.
I've never met.
Oh my god.
But so Sophie sends all these invites, and all the men are like, oh yeah, actually, I will come. I haven't spoken to you. And she sends them as Donna, her mother. So they're like, okay, Donna, haven't talked to you in 20 years, but I'll come to your daughter's wedding. So they all show up at once, and the movie essentially takes place over the course of one day, which is insane. Because of how much that goes on, it's really? Wild.
I feel like it's a week.
It's fully one day. It's 24 hours, yes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's true. Meryl Streep wears those overalls the whole time. So,
and I wouldn't want it any other way.
Right. It's gotta be a day. It feels like fully a week and a half. I'm like, why are you showing up to this wedding a month in advance?
But so, essentially, all of the men get there, and Sophie's trying to like hide them and be like, my mom can't know you're here. And they're like, well, that's kind of weird. And then Donna, who's played by Meryl Streep and Sophie's mother, she pretty much finds them and confronts them accidentally and is like, hey, you gotta go. And they're like, okay, we'll go. And they don't actually leave. They just get onto one of the one of the maybe dad's boats and like hang around. And they just hang out with Sophie for the afternoon. And
they're like, wow, she's so cool. I wish she was my daughter. And then they're all like, wait, oh my god, maybe she's my daughter.
And then so after they all have this miraculous realization, all within the span of 5 minutes of each other, they all confront Sophie, and Sophie starts to spiral. She's like, oh no! Now they all think they're my dad.
Yeah, because at this point, they all were like, oh, I just realized that I'm your dad, so, like, can I walk you down the aisle tomorrow? And she says yes to all 3 of them, so she basically, but they're like, it's going to be a secret. For some reason, all 3 of them are like, it's going to be a big secret that I'm going to walk you down the aisle. And she's just kind of like, okay, sounds good, to all 3 of them. And then at the end, she's like, holy shit, I'm about to faint because of how stressed I am. And this is the point where I'm like, girl, you fully put this on yourself. Like, you fabricated this drama to a T.
Sophie
you asked for this. You can't say she didn't ask for it.
So pretty much, like, that's where, like, day 1 ends. Is Sophie passes out. Sophie passes out at her, not a bridal shower, a bachelorette party.
I I'd fucking pass out because they did 97 musical numbers in the span of one day. I'd be fucking tired.
So like starts up the next day. There's a little bit of shenanigans. One of the dads are like confronting Meryl Streep and like talking to her about like their emotions, or like one of them's like trying to give her money because he's like, well, I didn't support you and my child. And Sophie's having a little hissy fit because she's that bitch.
Because it's the day of her wedding, and all she can think about is her maybe dads. I'm like, the husband character, the fiance, is in the movie for like maybe a grand total of like 3 minutes of screen time. This whole movie is dedicated to her, like unlocking the mystery of who is her dad. I'm like, you're not focused on the
This
right
is my
person
favorite
right
mystery
now.
film, though. But it pretty much ends up being like Sophie gets to the chapel and all that, and Meryl Streep is like makes this whole big.
Well, Meryl's like, I'm gonna walk you down the aisle. Basically, she's like, I realize what you did here. And it took her the whole movie to realize. She's like, oh, you invited these men because you think one of them's your dad. And I'm like, you didn't realize that the fucking minute they showed up? These 3 men that you fucked within a week of each other 20 years ago, you didn't maybe piece together that that's the reason why she invited them? Like, you're a fucking idiot,
she doesn't
Donna.
realize, because when she's like, and she like stands up in the chapel, and she's like, and welcome to Sophie's dad. And then she looks at Sophie and she's like, I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but he's here. And she's like, I know, I invited them. And then Donna flips out.
Right? And I'm just like, you didn't piece that together. You didn't.
But
like,
so
are you kidding
Sophie
me?
eventually, she pretty much like, after they've all stepped up and been like, I would like to be a third of Sophie's dad. Sophie takes a step back and is like, you know what? I don't want to get married, actually.
And her husband is thrilled. He's like, thank God. He's like, this is what I've been asking for all along.
You can see the weight lift off of his shoulders. He starts floating. But, so Pierce Brosnan, who's like one of Sophie's maybe dads and the man that Donna loved, turns around and he's like, why waste a good wedding? Donna, I haven't seen you in 20 years and we've only talked for maybe an hour in the last 24 hours. Let's get married. And then Donna says yes.
And she's like, fuck
Might
it.
as well.
She's like, fuck it. And so then they get married and they do the whole wedding, and then it's a lot of fun, and they sing ABBA through the whole movie. Every time some plot point happens, they have an ABBA song that pairs somehow perfectly with it. But this movie is so fun.
I feel like that's the most we can say about it, really.
It's fun. It has, so I was pretty shocked when I pulled it up to watch it, that it has a 55% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes and a 66% audience score, which really had me surprised because I don't think I know anybody who dislikes this movie. You know, I think you can make some critical points about its, you know, flaws maybe as a film, but I just can't imagine disliking this. How can you not, like, have a good time while watching Mamma Mia?
Yeah, this is like one of those movies that, like, if you sit down and you dislike Mamma Mia, that's probably one of the biggest red flags about a person that I could think of.
Yeah. Right, it's like people have their red flag movies. Like if a guy says his favorite movie is like Pulp Fiction or like Fight Club, you know, you're supposed to take that like as a red flag or whatever. It's a red flag if he doesn't want to watch Mamma Mia, or if he goes out of his way to.
Girls, if your boyfriend hates Mamma Mia, dump him.
Girls, if you're looking for a single man in the greater Boston area who loves Mamma Mia, boy, do we have The Bachelor for you. Cole Amadeo, we're promoting you on the pod. If anybody wants to hang out with Cole, I'm, without his permission, putting him on blast here. He loves Mamma Mia. He loves Disney. Heart of gold. Great guy, local guy.
We should just promo all of our friends on the podcast.
Yeah, promote all of our single friends on the pod by their favorite movies. So if you really love Mamma Mia, I do have the guy for you. He loves the second one as well. He saw it like the night it came out. It was always on in the apartment. He loves the second one. And so
through.
A true stan, through and through. But so, and the big thing though is that at the end of the movie, you never get answered who her dad is, and she's kind of like, I don't care. You can all be my fake dads. And that's the end of the movie is that you're kind of just like, oh, they're all gonna sing and dance ABBA together, and it's gonna be a really good time.
But okay, so I need to ask, who do you think her dad is?
Okay, so I just purely based on genetic science.
Right? That's what I was gonna say.
Two blondes can make a blonde. But blonde Meryl Streep, and both Sam and Terry have brown hair. A blonde and a brown hair do not produce a child with the wavy, blonde, golden locks that is Amanda Seyfried. Only two blondes could have made that child. And that is all I have to say. Also, if you look at Stellan Skarsgård's kids in real life, if you look at, like, Bill Skarsgård...
Alexander Skarsgård,
the Skarsgård... the Skarsgård children actors, you could put Amanda Seyfried in that mix and tell me they were siblings, and I would
Do you think it's fucked up that Donna, a blonde, got with Bill, a blonde, and created the ultimate blonde?
The ultimate blonde, which is Amanda Seyfried. The wavy, beachy blonde hair in this movie is unbeknownst to any other film ever created. The beachy hair vibes, the blonde beachy waves are just unmatched in this movie, and it could only have been created by two blondes. I'm sorry, I don't make up science. That's just how it works. So I'm saying it has to be Bill, because I don't know. They just look the most alike to me. Is that what?
I'd say it's Bill. I feel like Sophie is, I don't know. She just has, like, almost, like, from a personality standpoint as well, I can see her leaning more into the Bill side of things than, like, nervous little sweet Harry or something like that. Or, like, Sam, who, honestly, if you ask me, Sam is kind of the most boring dad.
I was gonna ask you to rank the dads, and for me it goes Colin Firth, then Stellan Skarsgård, then Pierce Brosnan. Mostly because Pierce Brosnan he can't sing. He's the Russell Crowe of this movie. Pierce Brosnan is to Mamma Mia as Russell Crowe is to Les Mis, which, not to spoil anything, but we will be covering that movie coming up, and I have a lot to say about Russell Crowe's bad singing. Another Amanda Seyfried movie. I think after we do Les Mis, she will be our most covered actress, because we did Jennifer's Body, and now we're doing Mamma Mia, and we're going to do Les Mis. She might be our most frequent character.
Well, we did give Ewan McGregor an entire month.
A whole month. But I mean, like, without pointing light.
She's insane in this movie. First of all, she's a great singer, beautiful voice. But Les Mis, she hits dog whistle notes. Like, I can't hear it, but we'll get to that in a couple of weeks.
She sounds like a clarinet. She sounds like the upper register of a clarinet. That's not even a human. They just dubbed in piccolo whistles. But she does sing. I was gonna say she does sing real good in this movie. She's a really good singer, and I do think I do have a big issue with, like, movies that do singing where the people are bad at singing. Who they hire actors who can't really sing versus, like, actors. You know, there are singers who can act and actors who can sing, and I think it's important to find a good
middle ground,
balance mix.
I totally agree.
But I think she's great. I think they picked a really good. Some ABBA moments aren't super difficult to. If you're not an amazing singer, you could probably still pull off a bit of ABBA, because you just got it paired with, like, a nice funky synth backbeat. So. But yeah, Pierce Brosnan's singing is distracting.
It's tough for me because one of my favorite ABBA songs is SOS, and every time it comes on, it's just like I got shot in my chest because he massacred it. It was so funny. I was watching because I have the DVD, the set of Mamma Mia.
Of course,
exactly.
Do.
So we found the DVD last night and we put it on. And then after that, I watched, there's the entire director's commentary over the whole movie, which if you have the DVD, I would highly, highly recommend watching this because it's super interesting. It talks a lot about just the production and how it was made and X, Y, and Z and everything that was going on the sets while it was being produced. The director was talking over it and she was like, yeah, like Pierce has this like really great like aged middle-aged, like, rocker voice kind of thing, X, Y, like, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, dude, girl, you can just say he's bad.
Just be honest. Like,
he was,
Oh my god. I think that's amazing that you watched the whole director's commentary. I know it was directed by a woman, which is pretty cool. That's kind of rare, especially for, like early 2000s type movie. So that's cool. Because especially it was a huge success on Broadway. So this was a Broadway musical first in the early 2000s.
The director was one of the women that created like the actual Broadway musical. So they had like a real hand in making the whole thing. Along with Benny and Bjorn, who were actually from ABBA, who literally had a hand in like producing the entire musical aspect of it, and they've even made they both made cameos in the movie too, which was really fun.
Yeah, I know that they helped a lot, like in the studio when the actors were like
Meryl Streep throughout the entire movie sang live on the sets each time. Part of what makes like this movie a cut above the rest, in terms of movie musicals, I think, honestly. Because you can really hear it, because, like, a lot of what they did was they mixed, like, some of her live stuff with, like, the stuff that she did in the studio and everything like that. And so it really sounds like you're almost, like, there. It's not like Chicago or something like that, where it's all perfect and all the notes are perfect and everything like that. Like, you think of the, how they start off Super Trooper, in the film, and they're not harmonized. Yes. Like, they're all a little, like, off or whatever. But that's what makes it so good, and that's, like, realistic. Like, these girls haven't sang together in 20 years. Of course, they're not going to be in perfect harmony, and then it goes into, like, the actual studio version.
I love Donna and...
Dynamos?
What are they called? Donna and the Dynamos. What a fucking girl group for the ages, Donna and the Dynamos. Y'all bitches could never. Fifth Harmony could never. What are the girl groups
Little
nowadays? I don't even know. Little Mix wishes they were Donna and the Dynamos. Because they've got it. Especially, I am obsessed. I think the best the best scene in this whole movie.
Oh my god!
Credits.
Yes,
the credits of this movie, they blew the entire budget. They're like, oh, we have $6 million, so 5.95 million of that is going. This movie obviously had a budget bigger than $6 million. I'm just using.
It had I have the budget here actually. I think it was $52 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, $52 million budget.
God.
Worldwide it grossed $602 million.
Holy shit. Yeah, so
as it should.
$52 million, $50 million of that was put towards the end credit scene with those fucking awesome, like, dragged out 70s costumes, and, like, the production level was crazy. I'm like, the rest of the time they're like, we're gonna all get trashed. We're all gonna get fucking drunk as hell on the beaches of Greece, and we're just gonna fuck around and sing ABBA. And they're like, but this end credit scene is where we have to pull through. I love you. Everyone was so trashed.
I loved it. Yeah, well, because they had like these local people catering while they were in Greece, and so like I guess they just went and catered it like how they would cater anything, which was with a lot of ouzo, and so like I think that's what made this movie so great too, and so fun and so loose, is because these people were tipsy the entire time they were filming.
But even, like, canonically within the context of the actual plot of the film, they are drinking.
Yeah.
It's a wedding.
Oh, yeah.
So they're, like Donna and Rosie and Tanya, they're sipping champagne in the morning. There are people drinking all through the afternoon on the boats. They're drinking at the bachelor party. They're drinking at the wedding. Like it just makes sense for these people to be a little off their rocker.
And it's funny, too, because, like, there are definitely some shots, like... I remember my mom pointed it out when we were watching it yesterday. It's like when all the men come up to see Donna singing Super Trooper, you can just like see it on like Stellan Skarsgård's face. I'm like, he's a little wasted.
Yeah, that scene especially. So, like, after Super Troopers, when it's the bachelorette party or whatever, the big party, and, like, the moment where she's kind of confronting all the dads about if they're confronting her, I guess. You can, especially Colin Firth, he's supposed to be drunk in that scene, but I'm like, he's a great actor, but that's gotta be real. Like, that's gotta have some element of realness to it. He's like, I just think I'm your dad.
I loved, what is it, during that, Bill is, like, standing on the table, another one of her dads, and she's, like, dancing with him or whatever, and he just looks at her, and he's like, how old are ya? She goes, I'm 20! And he goes, oh!
Yeah, right. Right. The moment it all hits them, I love that. I think the casting for these dads is also like the casting in this whole movie is so
Oh my God,
good.
yes.
And I do think the three dads are perfect because they are just different flavors of the same white man. You know what I mean? Like they're all just slight variations. They're like the Pokemon evolutions of each other, like the evolutions. That it is very reasonable that any three of these men could be her father because they all look fairly. At some points, I couldn't really tell Colin Firth and Pierce Brosnan apart. They just kind of look like in passing by scenes. I was like, wait, which fucking one was that? Like they really do. Yeah. They're just like middle-aged white men. The only one you can really Stellan Skarsgård stands out because he's like blonde and he was like wearing a fucking Hawaiian shirt the whole time. But also the dynamic between Donna, Rosie, and Tanya, immaculate. I do not think they could have got that with any other three actresses. It's like fucking amazing. I know Michelle Pfeiffer was up for
it wouldn't
the
have been the same
Donna as well. Yeah, I know there were a couple people also like for Sophie, Emmy Rossum, and
good, but
I don't know, there were like a couple different.
It
just Amanda Seyfried and Meryl Streep look like mother and daughter. Like it works. It just looks right. They just have those beachy blonde waves. It just makes
Meryl
sense.
Streep was the first one to sign on to this, which I love.
I believe that, and they used her as a huge selling point. I know, I think it was Pierce Brosnan or maybe Colin Firth, honestly, one of them, that they didn't tell them jack shit about this movie. They just said, we're going to Greece, we're filming in Greece, Meryl Streep is going to be there. And he was like, I don't give a shit, sign me on.
There.
Like fully cast me as whatever you want, I don't care, I'm there. And then once he got there, he, read the script and figured out the the plot of the film. So they totally used Meryl Streep as a huge selling point for other actors to get onto this because they're like, oh, we're gonna fuck around on the beach in Greece and Meryl's gonna be there. Like, how can I say no?
I like that you brought up that all of Sophie's potential dads are the same flavor of white men, which because you had texted me beforehand and you said, hey, figure out what three dads you would pick. I guess like in the scheme of like playing your three dads in like a movie sort of thing. Like,
yeah,
I'm
like
Sophie.
you're gonna self-insert. Yeah, you're gonna self-insert as if you're gonna self-insert fan fiction as Sophie and Mamma Mia, but you get to cast your three dads. So I'm really, because you told me that you thought a lot about this, and I'm not gonna say I thought a lot about it, but when I came up with that question, I thought it would be a fun thing to think about. I definitely went a little hard with my considerations of who gets to play my maybe dads. So I want to hear yours first.
I feel like I hit the nail on the head in terms of the same flavor of white men. I really had to put Ewan McGregor in the mix.
That's really good.
Everyone here knows how we feel about Ewan. Who was I to not put him in the mix? And then along with that, I have Ralph Fiennes. Love him. I think he's outstanding.
Okay.
But my top tier dad, the one that I would want to marry my fictional mother, Meryl.
Yeah, you're Sam. You're the Sam of it all.
Stanley Tucci.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Did you know that Stanley Tucci and Colin Firth are going to be playing gay lovers?
I did see that. Yeah, Supernova. It looks heartbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah, right. That's crazy because I was actually reading, because I know Colin Firth has this like not reputation, but he's definitely played like gay characters quite a number of times.
He did that movie A Single Man, which was also crushing.
Yeah. And honestly, I think just like a handful of times he's been a gay character. So he's been asked a lot by reporters and stuff how he feels about heterosexual actors playing gay characters. And he's kind of said like he doesn't know how to feel about it. He's like, I'm just trying to do my job, but also like I see both sides. He's like, I see where people are coming from with the argument that you should give gay roles to gay actors, but also it's just like just the name of the game, But so yeah, both him and Stanley Tucci have been interviewed about that subject in their new movie, which I didn't really know about until I was starting to read. Yeah, Stanley Tucci as your dad. I
did think about just being a dick and throwing Russell Crowe in.
Right, another man who can't sing to sing ABBA at my wedding.
My wild card would have been, though, for some reason I was like, you know who I'd want? Not quite as my dad, but Tilda Swinton. I want Tilda Swinton in the mix.
I was gonna pick Tilda Swinton. It was Tilda Swinton,
Willem Dafoe,
or Helen Mirren, just in like male drag and drag king drag to be my dad. And I was considering that. That's crazy. So my first thought though was that I want the ABBA remake, but I want it to be claymation and I want it to be directed by Wes Anderson. And so then I want my three. So we're all like, I don't know, like claymation sea creatures or something. And and I want my three dads to be voiced by Owen Wilson, Bill Murray, and like, I don't know, like Ed Norton or like Adrian Brody. I just, the Wes Anderson regulars. I think that'd be really funny. But in my live action casting, my three dads, these were literally just off the bat, like first three that came to my head were Willem Dafoe, which I texted you. I'm like, are we both going to pick Willem Dafoe? And you were like, no. And I was like, I shouldn't pick him because I don't want to be like sexually attracted to my movie dad. But I'm sticking by it. Willem Dafoe, Jim Carrey, and Harrison Ford.
Wow.
And those are my three movie dads. And they're all like, I think they all bring something different to the table. And I think it could be convincing that any of them could be my biological father. We're all just like, I don't know, they're all just like middle-aged white guys.
Who would you have in the same role? Would it be Willem Dafoe?
Willem Dafoe would marry Meryl Streep in the end, I think. But I would want Jim Carrey to play like the Stellan Skarsgård character. Like he's the one everyone suspects is my real dad, because we both have kind of like stretchy face structures. Speaking of like pre-generated questions, I also texted you and I told you that I'm expecting you right now to pick your favorite musical number from this film. And I would like a court level argument level as to why it is the best.
I
defend it to your grave. I want to know what your favorite, because everyone, like, even you can respect that they're all very good and it has its ups and downs, but you have to have a favorite.
It's really hard because I was going to ask you, I was like, what's your favorite song? But favorite song is very different than favorite musical number.
Yes.
And I think, and this is tough because I want to say, Does Your Mother Know? I think it's great. I think it's spectacular. But I think that'd be my second choice. My first choice, my number one slot is Money, Money, Money. It's such a powerhouse right off the bat. Like, obviously you have, like, Sophie's little intro, and then you have, like, I don't know what the song that she sings before that is. But Money, Money, Money is, like, the first big show-stopping, song and scene from this entire movie. You get to meet like the little Greek chorus pretty much that pops up throughout the film, which I think is outstanding. Yes. They're like a whole like character in itself. Like they bring a lot to the film. And you get to see Meryl Streep, Julie Walters, and oh god, what's her name? I'm blanking. Christine Baranski, like on a yacht, just having the time of their lives. It is gorgeous. It is over the top. It's brilliant. I think the song is great too. I think the way that they transitioned from them being on the island, and like Meryl fixing up the whole estate that she has to run into like this gorgeous big like yacht, which by the way, the yacht was like Benny's from ABBA. They used his yacht for it.
That's so
I just
cool.
think it was such a fun dynamic, and it was such a fun way that they flip-flopped. I don't know, I just thought it was brilliant. The one critique I would have for it is that there wasn't quite like a lot of dancing, which I think a good dance sequence is always necessary, and that's why I was kind of a toss-up between that and Does Your Mother Know, because that one's really funny and it has like a great dance sequence, but I think Money, Money, Money is just show-stopping.
I love that. That's such an excellent choice. I definitely agree. It sets the tone for the movie. Like, you know that this is about to be a romp and a half when Meryl busts down on money. It's like the first full-length musical number too, and they're switching locations. You're really getting the vibe. I think I had that down as like my contenders as I was like taking notes throughout the movie.
So what's yours?
Which one I wanted to pick. I I think it's kind of a cop out to say dancing queen, right? Because it is it's the peak of the movie. It's, the height of the action and the intrigue and the interest. I just love the beginning where Meryl is all distressed and she's like laying in her bed, and then her, her two friends, Rosie and Tanya, are kind of like dicking around and trying to cheer her up. And I love that. And then it cascades into this huge full cast dance number. I just think that's really good. And it's, the peak of the movie. It's the best part. But I think that's a cop-out.
Can I put in a tidbit?
So I will say,
just one thing that really adds to that for me, and I totally agree, it does feel like a cop-out, but that is a brilliant scene, is that a lot of a good handful of the women that you see on the dock and like dancing during that are a lot of the locals that were from the island, and they all learned the song and the dance, and they were just in the movie, which I think is great.
That's so fun. I love that. I love when like places have like local casting calls, like they're filming something in like fucking Worcester, Mass, and they're like, who wants to be in the background of this movie? And you're like, hey, that's my neighbor. Like, that's my neighbor in the background of American Hustle.
But okay,
like,
enlighten me to your favorite.
But so I have to say, like you did say that there's definitely a distinction between your favorite song and your favorite musical number, but I have to be a little bit biased. I can't even say I can pick a favorite ABBA song because they're all so fucking good, but Lay All Your Love on Me has always had such a place in my heart. I think I listen to that song like on the regular. It's on my playlist. I'm just obsessed. I will say that the scene in this movie is a little horny for me.
Oh, it's perfectly horny if you ask me. That's why I like it.
I don't want it from the man. I don't want it from the husband. I just want to see Amanda Seyfried writhing around on the beach. Like, that's all I want.
Okay. Because genuinely, like, a lot of people will, like, joke around and be like, oh, this, like, X, Y, and Z was, like, my sexual awakening. No, when I say that this scene in the movie made me realize that I was interested in girls, I am not lying.
And, like, I commend you for it. That's fair. That's an amazing
bookmarked
choice.
In my brain now.
She's in that bikini, right? Like, she's just, like, against those rocks on the beach, just, like, throwing her body against it. She's so hot. I think this is her best moment in the movie where she's really just, like, owning it. She's commanding all of her star power. I think her voice really lends itself to the song.
I want to thank her. Thank you, Amanda Seyfried. I owe you one.
And, like, you know that new M. Night Shyamalan movie about the beach that makes you old? This is the beach that makes you do perfect choreography with all of your bros. Because when those guys come out in their little flippers and they go out onto the thing and they're all doing handstands, like, in perfect coordination, I cannot. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. They're all like, we're like these ripped hot guys, but we're like in flippers and we're jumping into the water in perfect unison. I just love it. It's got to be the one that brings me the most joy. I just like, honestly, I was looking online about like drinking games because I know there's a lot of like drinking game related like Mamma Mia online like lists you can find because it's just a fun movie and you got to be a little tipsy.
Oh yeah.
Like if that's your vibe, like I just love drinks with Mamma Mia is such a good
100%.
A good vibe, a good feeling. So I was looking up like drinking games to see what people were saying, and there's a million out there, and all of them are like every time she says dad, every time, yada yada yada. And I just think you gotta scrap all the formalities, and every time your body involuntarily starts dancing a little bit, you gotta drink, and you'll be trashed halfway through. I swear to God, I'm alone in my apartment in my pajamas, and I was like shaking my ass and like wiggling my shoulders a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just like fully dancing alone in my apartment by myself to this ABBA music," but I can't not. Like, I physically cannot help myself dancing. So if you're gonna do if you're gonna do a drinking game, just like every time you kind of find yourself like getting into it and kind of doing a little body roll, you gotta sip your drink because it's just
what ABBA would want.
Right? And so, not to just roll out these questions, But I was also really considering, and I asked you before this to consider, if you're gonna do a jukebox musical, it doesn't have to be like the ABBA plot or the Mamma Mia plot or anything. It doesn't have to be related to this movie, but I think it was fucking genius that they do
So
ABBA
good.
with this. It just feels so right. It's amazing. The songs have enough like consistency where it feels complete, but diversity where you can apply them to different situations. I think it's awesome. I love a jukebox musical. Like we've covered Moulin Rouge, which I think is fucking amazing. Saturday Night Fever with the Bee Gees, like, is so good. So if you were to do a jukebox musical movie, what artist would you pose?
This might be coming
the subject.
a little out of left field and a bit of a shocker to those who have listened to this podcast before, because I've talked about how I specifically did not listen to this artist, but I've had a renaissance. I've had a reawakening, and I'm gonna go with the Talking Heads. I will say they might be a little too quirky for a musical, but also I think that is one thing that could make it really good. And they've got enough songs like that stick out that people know, same as like Dancing Queen or like Mamma Mia and things like that. And they've got a super deep catalog, which you also need for a jukebox musical. I think there's good vibes, and I think that you could definitely tell a story there, and I think there's some of their songs are a little are ambiguous enough that you could really kind of like make it work and throw it into whatever plot you decide. Yeah.
I think that's a really great choice. I think in the same way that I just said, like, ABBA has those, like, consistency throughout, like, theme, but that's, like, diversity enough that you could apply different songs to different, like, moods and emotions.
Yeah.
I really see that for them, that you could, like, kind of pick and choose to, like, fit the mood of whatever story you're trying to tell. That's a really good one. I had 5 written down because I was just, like, thinking about different artists. So, like, the first one off the top, Lady Gaga, I just think to do like all her greatest hits in a jukebox musical would be like the campiest, most fun, amazing.
She'd be starring in it too.
I don't even like.
She'd have to star in her own jukebox musical.
Right, I just want like a 2-hour long music video of Gaga's greatest hits. Like, I don't even care. And then from there, I kind of went towards Cupcake, just because I'm a personal stan. But I just think like
you'd be able to sell tickets.
Kind of a comedy. Yeah, right. As like a comedy, like maybe like a gritty A24 comedy type. Like, I don't really know where I'm going with this, but maybe it's just because what I listen in my head.
No, I like it. I like that for you. I'd watch. And
then I've also always said that every time a movie, like a musical biopic gets made, or any sort of thing like this gets made, I just ask myself, why has there not been a Fleetwood Mac movie?
True, it's so messy. It'd be perfect.
Right?
They'd all just be doing coke the whole time.
I think Fleetwood... right, I just, like, it's what I want, it's what I need. So I do think Fleetwood Mac soundtrack to a full movie, just soundtracking the whole movie to Fleetwood Mac, would just be fucking... And then I kind of shifted to yacht rock, which I don't really know why my brain went there, but, like, fucking Hall & Oates. Do a Hall & Oates movie. Like, I don't know, it feels right. And then I felt like myself, biopic, if I'm doing a biopic to my life, and what I'm, like, crying, singing in my car to myself, it's gotta be Billy Joel. So
yeah, that's a really good one.
So like that was my progression of thought from Lady Gaga to Billy Joel, and so those are all the ones I came up with for what I would want a jukebox musical about. But I will say ABBA, fucking amazing. Like, every song is a banger. There are no misses. This movie has no misses.
One thing I will say that I learned this watch and with watching the director's commentary, I didn't know that ABBA popped off because they were in, like, the Eurovision contest. Like, that's how they they won it with the song Waterloo, and that's how they got famous. One thing I will say about this movie is I love the diversity of these, not actual diversity, but like because it's not at all diverse, I'll say that, how distinct of personalities each one of these characters have. Like, everyone is so quirky in like their own very specific way that, like, me and Alyssa, when we were watching last night, we started like assigning, we were like, you could give people like these as like almost like like your zodiac signs, you know what I mean?
I literally have written down, don't tell me your zodiac sign, tell me which of the Donna and the whatever
Dynamos
and the donuts. the donuts. Dawn and the donuts. Dawn and the Dynamos. Don't tell me your zodiac sign. Tell me which of Dawn and the Dynamos you most relate to, because
Rosie.
that's gonna
It's
tell
Rosie
me way
for
more.
me.
Okay, let me I love, so Jen's here. We're gonna do chocolate and vanilla in a short moment, but I just love you and your twin sister Emily, along with your very close friend Juliet. The three of you like kind of embody Donna, Rosie, and Tanya, and the three of you, I just think like for a Halloween costume, just in life, like that Super Troopers moment.
Here's the fun thing is that that's what we were planning on doing for this year for our Halloween costume. I was talking to Jean last night, and she was like, dude, I'll make you the costumes, just tell me when. And I was like...
They're stunning. They're stunning. Especially, like, there's the ones at the end, which are, like, the high-budget 70s moment, but, like, that's one thing. But the ones they wear, like, the, you know, the pared down ones they do actually in the movie during Super Troopers, I just think would be the most phenomenal Halloween costume of all times. You have to do it, because the three of you are totally Donna, Rosie, and Tanya. Like, it just fits.
I'd say probably what my
sense.
favorite scene is Take a Chance on Me, because I think I've talked about this on the podcast already. But because me and Alyssa are such crazy Mamma Mia people, a long time ago, like 5+ years ago at this point, we made a pact that whoever gets married first, and if any of you guys listening steals this and does this, and I see it on my timeline, I am coming for you. This is my thing. But... we made a pact that whoever gets married first, the other twin has to perform "Take a Chance on Me" at the at whoever's wedding it is. Yeah, like fully produced. Like I will, like if Alyssa gets married, I'm getting together with the best man, and we are choreographing this months in advance. We are practicing once a week at the very least. It's gonna be a whole thing. But I would say that is probably one of my favorite scenes, just because it's so fun, and just because I have that little tidbit of knowledge in the back of my head whenever I do it. I'm like trying to memorize the moves while I watch them.
All right, so we are blessed with Jen's presence once again this week for Chocolate and Vanilla. It's sort of a thing we do in the middle of episodes. My mother, also our intern, she provides a lot of fun, factual information and research to the podcast. She's amazing. Please buy our merch so we can pay her maybe someday. We could buy her a nice scented candle or something. But Jen comes in each week and we play a fun game called Chocolate or Vanilla, where she just asks us 2 questions and we say which one we like more. So the titular example is chocolate or vanilla, and we go through a list of things. Does this week have a theme, Jen?
It does. So, my apologies. So, I did a theme of double letters, like Mamma Mia. So, I thought it was going to be hard, but then I just got rolling, and I have, like, way too many. So, but... You can. I love a good game.
No,
I like a thick game.
I usually talk way too much. You're like, snakes are sharks. And I'm like, wait, I need to give a soliloquy about how sharks are demonized by the media. So I'll try to keep it short this week. We can just pound through them. I'll try to not have too strong of opinions. But I'm ready for this double letter chocolate or vanilla.
You used the word soliloquy. I also like that you slipped in the word titular, because I think you do that every single week.
It's my favorite, the titular role.
We have to start keeping a count. It's like X amount of days since the word titular.
Oh my god, it's right. I like owe royalties to Beanie at this point.
Okay, hit us with it, Jen. Alright, you ready? Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vanilla. Chocolate. Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme?
Oh my god, Jen is dipping into my personal life right now. I'm not gonna get into it, but this is really personal for me. I've never been to a Krispy Kreme, though, so I guess I gotta go with Dunkin's.
Yeah, I'm a Dunk stan through and through. Yeah, Dunks for me. Donnie Darko or Willy Wonka?
Oh, that's so hard. I love both of those. I gotta go with Willy Wonka, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, Donnie Darko is one of those ones that's been on my list for ages and I still haven't seen, so I'm gonna have to say Willy Wonka.
Okay, well, when I force you to do Jake Gyllenhaal month, we're gonna watch Donnie Darko, so don't you worry.
Okay, thank God. I will take Willy Wonka also, because I have not seen Donnie Darko either.
Both? Okay, well then I switch my answer to Donnie Darko. We can't have Willy Sweep. Donnie's amazing, so I'll switch back to Donnie Darko.
Okay, ready? Sansa Stark or Joe Jonas?
Joe Jonas.
Yeah, are we talking specifically the character Sansa Stark? Because I would say Sophie Turner if it was a Sophie Turner thing, but I'm going to have to say Joe Jonas if it's Sansa versus Joe.
Well, I am going with Sansa. Pepperoni pizza or tater tots?
Oh, tater tots. For sure.
Pepperoni pizza. I don't love tater tots that much. I wish I did. They just don't do it for me.
I will go pepperoni pizza also. Ella Enchanted or Pitch Perfect?
Oh my god, fuck this question. Of course it's Ella Enchanted. The musical scene in Ella Enchanted when her and all the giants sing Don't Go Breaking My Heart can fucking sweep any musical moment in Pitch Perfect, and I stand by that.
She took the words right out of my mouth. I'm saying Ella Enchanted.
All right, I'm going to say Pitch Perfect. So we were watching it the other night.
Of course you were. Here's a fact about my parents, especially my dad, is that every time Pitch Perfect comes up on any surface, my dad will play it from the beginning. And I tell people it's his favorite movie, and he's like, don't tell people that about me. But it's fucking true. It's true. Gary's favorite movie is Pitch Perfect, and whether he wants to say it's The Departed or whatever, it's not. It's Pitch Perfect. He's seen that movie. He has seen that movie 100 times. I promise you.
We were between that and the Olympics. And, like, you know that scene where Anna Kendrick, like, does the dance move where she, like, lifts her one boob? I'm like, I just think that's the best dance move ever. So
was this our check-in with Gary for the month if he actually listens to the podcast? There's no test.
A hard no. Chocolate chip or Rocky Road?
Chocolate chip. Gotta go with a classic.
Rocky Road.
Ooh, chocolate chip.
Emily, can you tell me?
Like,
wait,
just a ton of different stuff in your ice cream? Like,
yeah.
The more the better, yeah.
Emily,
I like a lot of different textures there to work with. I like a complexly textured ice cream.
As someone,
like marshmallows in your ice cream.
as someone who has worked at an ice cream place, can you please tell me, for the love of God, what is the difference between Rocky Road and Moose Tracks?
I think Moose Tracks, from my understanding of it, and I specifically scooped Gifford's ice cream. I want everyone to know I scooped Gifford, so maybe it differs from place to place. But Moose Tracks, I think, has peanut butter in it and like a peanut butter swirl sort of thing in it as well. And Rocky Road is mostly just like a fudge swirl and like chocolate chips, I believe.
Are there no marshmallows?
Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but...
Are there no marshmallows?
I think marshmallows and nuts, right?
I don't know.
That's always really haunted me.
That is a really good question, honestly. If someone has, like, the actual answer, please, like, DM us and let us know.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Bobby Brown or Millie Bobby Brown?
Millie Bobby Brown.
I'm also going to say Millie Bobby Brown because one of my favorite forms of entertainment is the memes of her being homophobic. Which is just not the case, but it's one of my favorites.
I'll go with Millie Bobby Brown. Pride and Prejudice or Sense and Sensibility?
Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, same. Beauty and the Beast or Brother Bear?
Brother Bear.
Ooh, yeah, Brother Bear.
Donny Osmond to the grave. Wait, was Donny Osmond in that? No, who was the...
Donny Osmond did Mulan.
Yeah, Donny Osmond was in Mulan. Who played the bear in Brother Bear?
I think it was Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix!
No way.
Yeah, that's who it was. And everyone was like, this is a movie about Native American people, and you cast fucking Joaquin Phoenix, which is fair.
Hold on. Let's see what Google has to say.
But Phil Collins did the music for that, which Brother Bear came out before Tarzan? Or after?
After.
But both
Yeah.
soundtracks equally slap.
Joaquin Phoenix played Kenai.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Love that movie. Bilbo Baggins or Mad-Eye Moody?
Bilbo motherfucking Baggins went on a journey and a half to get that ring, so Mad-Eye Moody didn't do jack shit. So I'm gonna say Bilbo. To the grave, I will stick with Bilbo.
I'm gonna admit something that Dara's gonna yell at me about, is that I haven't seen any of the Lord of the Rings or Hobbit movies or anything like that. Actually, I did see one of them. I saw the very last one, because Dara, you actually brought me to the theater I think it was like the last Hobbit movie that came out, and I did fall asleep in the theater for it.
We went to go see it at midnight. That's why we all fell asleep.
Yes, I think so. I think that's about right. But even though I haven't seen them, I know that Mad Eye Moody did not leave much of an impression on me. And for future me, who is maybe gonna watch these movies, I'll say Bilbo Baggins. I'll take a chance.
I'm gonna go Bilbo Baggins too. Polly Pocket or Lincoln Logs?
Polly motherfucking Pocket, because you know what? I used to chew on those little rubber clothes, those little rubber skirts, and they just were so satisfying to just stick in between your molars and grind away on, and it's why I have a teeth grinding problem to this day, is because I chewed on some Polly Pocket clothes as a 4-year-old. Polly Pocket was fabulous, and her clothes were an amazing texture, so I gotta go with her.
I'm so glad that everyone our age had that universal experience, because I did the exact same thing. So for that reason, I'm also going to say Polly Pocket.
I would say Polly Pocket too. Remember those teeny tiny little shoes?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Those are everywhere over the house. Paw Patrol or Peppa Pig?
Peppa Pig, because ACAB.
I'm also going to say Peppa Pig, because one of my favorite things is that so many young American children watch Peppa Pig that they've actually started to develop, like, British accents and use, like, British words instead of American ones. Like, instead of saying, like, oh, like, we're going on vacation, they'll call it holiday. And so, like, a lot of American parents are starting to be like, what is going on? So just for her outstanding cultural influence, I have to go with Peppa Pig.
That's really cool. I am going to pick Paw Patrol because I babysit for someone who loves Paw Patrol, and it's just so cute. She gets so excited about it. Fantastic Four or Fast and Furious?
Fantastic Four, but specifically the original ones with, like, Jessica Alba. Like, I don't fuck with that new shit, that remake shit. Oh, the OG. I love that Chris Evans was Johnny Flame or whatever, and then they just, like, decided to forget that happened and cast him in the Marvel Universe as Captain America. They're like, we're just gonna forget that Fantastic Four ever happened. We're just gonna move on, recast him. But yeah, Fantastic Four, I think we had those on DVD, and I definitely watched those until they, like, didn't work anymore, so.
Yeah, I also really enjoyed Fantastic Four when I was younger, so I'm going to go with that as well.
All right, well, you know, I always pick Fast and Furious franchise every time. Fast and Furious. Minnie Mouse or Wonder Woman?
Minnie Mouse.
Yeah, Minnie Mouse.
I'm going to go Wonder Woman, but the OG 1977.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Gal Gadot.
Yeah, I'm like, as far as I know, Minnie Mouse isn't a Zionist, so we're gonna pick Minnie Mouse.
Guardians of the Galaxy or Karate Kid?
Karate Kid.
Yeah, Karate Kid. I remember we saw Guardians of the Galaxy, and I was never impressed. Not once. There, I said it.
Ooh.
People love that movie, and it never did anything for me.
It's just the soundtrack. People just had never heard music from the 70s before. And then they were like, this Marvel movie is really good, huh?
I will go Karate Kid also. Gone Girl or Mad Max?
Gone Girl.
I just watched Mad Max for the first time like 2 weeks ago, and it was really good, but I have to also go with Gone Girl.
Yeah, I'll say Gone Girl too. Snow Patrol Chasing Cars or Kesha TikTok?
Kesha? We're going with Kesha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kesha.
All right, I'll say TikTok too. Last one. Bruce Banner or Peter Parker?
Peter Parker. Peter motherfucking Parker. Every day. That's my boyfriend. Spider-Man.
My friendly neighborhood boyfriend. Yeah, I'm also going to go with Peter Parker.
Yeah, same. Peter Parker for me too. Yeah. So that's it. That's them all.
Thank you.
That was good.
Yeah.
I like that one.
What is it called when things have two of the same letter? Alliteration? I liked your alliteration. Awesome alliteration. What's a J word that means like good for Jen? Like, I don't know, jammin'? That was bad. But thank you for joining. Also, we're going to try to make it a regular habit to post the chocolate or vanillas up on our Instagram. So later this week, probably sometime this weekend, if you want to check out our Instagram and vote on what you prefer for these alliterations. We'd love to hear your opinions and report back on what the final winners are. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much, Jen, for joining us, as always.
You're welcome. I was going to say, if anybody wants to come up with a theme, I would roll with it.
Ooh, yeah. If for the future, if anybody's like, we really want chocolate or vanilla to be about sports, well, we're not going to do that. That's for fucking sure. But if you come up with something interesting, then maybe we'll relay it over to Jen, and she will come up with a nice list of things. Also, please let us know if you play chocolate or vanilla. A good handful of you have commented to us that you play chocolate or vanilla like in the car or with your friends or whatever, and that's so sweet and we love it. And I always tell Jen, and she says, "Aw, that made my day." So please let us know.
All right, thanks, guys. Love you.
Love you. Bye. All right, so before Jen popped in for chocolate or vanilla, I believe we were talking about your connection to Donna and the Dynamos.
Yeah.
What would be the most epic Halloween costume of all time. And it took me up until this watching of this movie to realize that Julie Waters, who plays Rosie, is fucking Molly Weasley in Harry Potter. And this whole time, like, I realized it like 5 minutes in. I was like, oh my god, I just don't think I've ever watched this movie sober before. So I was like, oh my god, that's Molly Weasley. And then every time just she opened her mouth, all I could hear was, Ronald Weasley, how dare you steal that car? I am absolutely disgusted.
Oh my god.
Every time. She's amazing.
A great character actor.
She's amazing. I just think that she always plays that, like, humble, down-to-earth, kind of, like, homey, every woman kind of character, like, relatable, working-class type beat. I don't know, she just nails that every time, and I love that in this one. She's, like, a cookbook author. I love the little details they throw in about the characters that, like, that didn't need to be there, and it didn't take any, like, time or anything to just add it in. But I will say, I don't really love to use the word queer baiting, but do you think it's totally queer baity that they make her fucking fall for Bill at the end? Because I'm like, she gives me the most immaculate lesbian vibes of any movie character almost ever, and then you're gonna fucking make her fall for Bill at the end?
She's my favorite queer aunt. I wouldn't say it was queer baity, but I do think that it was something that could have been a lot more interesting in terms of the film. I'd say they misstepped with this one a little bit, because here's my thing, is that Harry, who is one of Sophie's potential dads, it ends up being gay in the movie. But my whole thing with that was, like, if they didn't tell me, I wouldn't have known. They, like, you know what I mean? Like, there was that scene where Bill and Harry are, like, on the boat talking about, like, the night they had last night, like, after, like, Sophie's bachelorette party, and Harry's talking about how he realized something last night or whatever, and it was him, he realized that he was Sophie's dad, but the way Bill takes it is that, oh, he realized he was gay last night kind of thing. And I was like, I never read him like that, really. There was, like, the only thing that they really gave you up until that point was, like, this shared look at this guy that he was dancing with the night before, and that was about it. But I could have clocked Rosie as a queer woman from day one.
But yeah, I agree, and I get that they're doing the whole, like, you would have never guessed, and turns out, haha, he's gay. And he does make a comment like, oh, I only have 2 dogs, like, I'm not married, just me and my dogs, whatever. And, like, that's fine. But yeah, I totally agree if you're gonna, like, I don't know, give some sort of inkling of anything. And make them both gay. Why do you need to only have one surprise?
I guess it was, like, 2008, but...
Like, I don't know, I guess... Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like it just make it make sense, you know? And to make it make sense, Rosie is a lesbian woman. She's a chef. She's a lesbian chef.
Yeah, exactly. It reads so right. Okay, do we want to get into Fuck, Marry, Kill? Because I feel like we're edging there. Because this is really... I think this is our most difficult game of fuck, marry, kill to date. Exactly.
Yeah, everyone in this movie is so hot and so good at dancing, which really shows off their physical prowess. I think we gotta start by doing Donna and the Dynamos. That's an easy 3, and then we gotta do the dad.
Can we
looks
start with the
easy
guys?
three.
Because
So
I
let's
don't
start
want
with
to
the
kill any
ladies.
of those women.
Okay. Yeah, right. Okay, let's start with the guys because I think it's easy. that
I'm
we're both
gonna
kill
kill Pierce because he
but
does
you can
nothing
go
for
first.
me. And then I guess I would fuck Bill. I'd rather marry Bill, but I think the agreement that I can come to with Harry is that we're married. Yeah, exactly.
A nice beard situation.
Not that we need to.
No, I think the same thing though. It's 2008 at this time, honestly. And
Yeah.
if I can be a sound beard for Colin
Exactly.
Firth, I would.
Yeah, and
give
and
up
if I
my
can
marital
have my
life
girlfriend
for
on the
him.
side
Yeah,
or
I agree.
whoever I'm with on the side, then fine. If he's not ready to come out and if he has something that he needs me to be his beard for, I'd be like, yeah, I could do that. But exactly. But
Yeah.
ideally,
and he
I
says
would
he's got dogs,
marry
so
Bill.
Bill's got a boat.
But
I
I'm not
completely
doing
agree
anything with
you.
Pierce
I want to
Brosnan,
marry Bill 'cause
and I'm
he's got
not
a
killing
boat,
Harry.
I guess.
So.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I guess I'll also fuck Bill because if we're fucking,
Yeah.
at least we can be on. At least I can spend
Yeah.
some time on the boat. If
You can
it's-
have a
it's not
Donna
forever,
situation
but
where
it's
you
just
mess around for a couple of
bit
days
of
and
time.
fuck around on the boat, and then fuck on the boat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He
Exactly.
can take me
Yeah.
tubing. He can take me water skiing. That's the vibe. And then I guess I'm also going to beard marry Colin Firth, and then I'll
Especially-
kill Pierce Brosnan because I'm not fucking marrying Pierce Brosnan. Even more difficult is Donna and the Dynamos.
I don't think
Rosie,
I can do
Tanya,
it.
Donna,
I really
who
don't
are you
think I
fucking marrying
can. I
and
can
killing?
choose. Can I just not kill one of them? Can I just we're just not connected? I can't kill.
I'm going to tentatively I love you, Meryl Streep, but I'm sorry, your backup girls are just more intriguing to me. Tanya can get it. I'm gonna fuck Tanya. I'm gonna marry Rosie. She is a chef, and that is my type. And I
That
guess I'm
is
just
really
gonna kill
bold of
Donna.
you.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
It's just gonna.
here's
have to
my
happen.
thought. Is that if no, because I was gonna say if I was to marry Tanya, she'd probably leave me after a year or two because she's on husband number 3 or something like that. I couldn't entertain her long term.
That's why she's my fling. Easy. And she's got to be bussing down in the sheets because she got with that freshly 18-year-old bartender, that 20-year-old bartender, and he was all about it. So she.
I'm at a
she rocked
crossroads
his
here.
world.
I love Rosie, but I am Rosie. I feel like Rosie at my core. I think I would have to, and I don't want to say, I think I'd have to kill Rosie. I'd be crying the whole time.
This is some deep self-reflection you're doing right now. This is therapy level introspective thinking that we're requiring of you right now.
Am I gonna have to start paying everyone a copay? Okay. No. I changed my mind. I don't think I could kill her. I think I would have to honestly just hang out. I'd fuck Rosie. I'd marry Donna, and I'd kill Tanya. It's really hard. I don't stand by this at all. This is just kind of what I've come down to.
Yeah. But honestly, you could just roulette wheel the 3 of them, and any position it lands on is probably
Exactly.
fine.
It's have you ever seen Killing of a Sacred Deer? When Colin Farrell has to kill one of his kids and he just closes his eyes and shoots kind of thing. Same idea. Sorry if I just ruined that movie for anyone, but I couldn't kill Rosie.
Yeah, it would be like looking in a mirror, you know?
Like, are we very much alike? Yes, but also I vibe with myself, so I couldn't kill
At least
her.
you don't wear that many problem patterns, though, you know? The costume department of this movie really said, let's do problem patterns, and let's have everyone do problem patterns.
She was wearing, like, a floral button-down, which is just... She should have been gay if she was wearing a floral button-down.
Like, don't.
But then they tacked her on with some camo pants. Come on, why did you have to do my girl that dirty?
Right, it was like a paisley vest with, like gingham pants. Like the whole movie, I was like, what? Not a single one of these patterns works, and 3 of them at once.
So what should we do? Okay, full movie picture.
I can't. That's so hard. There's so many people. I think I'm gonna kill the boyfriend though, because that's easy right off the bat.
Yeah.
He means nothing to me, and also I think Sophie needs to go out into the world and live her best free life. So I'm gonna kill the boyfriend.
Same exact idea. I agree with you 100%.
Honestly, I still think I'm marrying Rosie because I think that she's just really gonna do it for me in life. She's a cookbook author. Clearly, she's successful enough that people in Greece are asking her to sign the cookbook. Like, she's doing okay for herself. And also, she can make me dinner every night, which is the one thing I don't know how to do for myself. So, I'm still gonna marry Rosie, and then who do I want to fuck in this movie? Probably Amanda Seyfried, TBH.
Yeah. So I I have a pretty close to the same show lineup as you. So I am also going to kill Sky. Also, his name's Sky.
Yeah, right. His name should be Hugh. He looks like a Hugh to me.
So I'm gonna kill Sky because he does nothing for me. And then I'm also gonna fuck Sophie for obvious reasons.
On the beach.
But,
it's gotta be on the beach. I want sand to be present. I want it to be coarse.
Yeah. I want to have my, like, full circle moment. So I'm gonna fuck Sophie, but then I'm gonna take a page out of her book, and I'm gonna get really messy, and I'm gonna make things really complicated, and I'm still gonna marry Donna.
I love that. Yeah, right? Give Sophie a taste of her own medicine. Be like, oh, you want to stir the pot? I'll fucking stir the pot, bitch. I made the stew. Yeah, I'm your stepmom now. How does that feel?
Like, I banged you, and now I'm banging your mom every night.
It sounds like a bad porn.
I wouldn't be able to do it, though, without what I drank for this movie, and what would be my recommendation for you to drink during this movie. And I'll preface this by saying it is not for everyone. I don't think it's for you. I think we talked about this beforehand. But I went really thematically, and I made an ouzo-based drink. And if you don't know what ouzo is, it is a Greek liquor.
Super popular.
Pretty much,
I think the Greeks love this shit. It's like their tequila. It's the tequila of Greece.
I had an ouzo lemonade spritzer, pretty much. And so what it is, well, first of all, ouzo tastes a lot like liquor, like black licorice kind of thing. I don't know what the actual term for that flavor is, but to me it's just black licorice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you don't like that, if you don't like Jaeger or something like that, because Jaeger's the only other thing that I can think that tastes like black licorice, probably not the drink for
or
you.
like fennel. To me, like fennel.
Fennel.
It's very like black licoricey. I'm personally have an aversion to it. It is not for me. And you served this at your Mamma Mia themed party, and I remember I had a drink, and I was like, I cannot force myself to drink this.
Yeah. You probably just pounded the margaritas that I made instead.
Yeah.
Though. Oh yeah. Which that would be my other option. If you don't, that'd be my You can pivot if you don't like ouzo. Have a margarita. I think it's perfect. But I'd say the ouzo lemonade. It's pretty much like 2 ounces of ouzo and then 1.5 ounces of lemon juice. You muddle like a couple of mint leaves and then you put honey in it, and then you just top it off with seltzer, and I think it's delicious. Some people may hate it, but if you want to try it, I would highly recommend. I think it's great. If you're trying to like kind of like not really down a drink, but also like have an easy to drink drink for this movie, which I think you need to have, I think it would be solid. Dara, what did you drink, and what would your recommendation be?
So I totally agree with you. Margaritas was right at the top of my list. Like, this is just like a fun beachy movie. So like anything you'd really want on the beach, definitely like a blended ice drink, you know, like a slushy, like a marg for sure.
Like tequila and Mamma Mia, you can't really go wrong.
And it rhymes, so it just feels right. But to me, I think the thing to drink is definitely like a heavy-handed sangria. So this movie really makes me want to like get fruity with it, you know, and like chop up, like slice up some strawberries and like maybe some raspberries, whatever, mix it in a nice sparkling wine, some vodka, some schnapps, whatever, like the sangria of your choice. I personally have been recently really into making my own simple syrups. So I made a blueberry simple syrup. I just did 2 cups sugar, 1 cup water until it's boiling, add the blueberries, then you stir them, then you strain them, super easy. And it made like 2 full jars full of this nice blueberry syrup that I use like just a half ounce of in every drink, and it really just like brings forward the flavor. I've made ginger simple syrup, mint simple syrup. It's way easier, it's way cheaper than the shit they sell to you at the store, and it's better because it doesn't have all the like preservative weird shit in it. So just sugar, water, and whatever you want the flavor to be, I totally recommend. And then you just add it to like sparkling wine or seltzer water and, you know, wine, hard liquor, vodka, rum, whatever. Honestly, sangria is just up to you, but I think that sangria is the vibe of this movie. And then for food, I think it's just pretty generic to say Greek. Do a kebab, a hummus moment, like Mediterranean,
big
like
hummus
like
plate.
seafood, like shrimp maybe. I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what we made for our, because this is the first time we've had like, I've actually had a themed party for the movie that we talked about.
Yeah, I remember there were kebabs and there were these really good like Mediterranean seasoned shrimp that you had made, and it was very
like a Greek salad too, kind of thing. I think
cheese
I think you
board,
have to be very
like pita and hummus type cheese board spread.
Yeah, tzatziki. You gotta definitely have to get like some tzatziki.
Ooh, some cucumbers and like tzatziki dip. Hell yeah.
This is one that I would say you definitely have to be thematic with it. You can't like half-ass
They
it.
also though they do have the wedding, and during the wedding they like bring out the food and they're eating a lot of oysters, which personally not my jam, but if you like oysters, I think this movie would be great.
Go for
to
it.
like pound some oysters during. And they also have like a huge roast like chicken or something that's really beautiful.
Yeah,
that they show in this movie. So if you want to kind of go the wedding theme and do like kind of like a wedding-y type spread, I don't know why you would go that hard, but go for it. I'm not gonna stop you.
You can make like a little basic like sort of like cake like they have. Like I
wedding
know there's,
cake,
like,
a little wedding cake would be super cute. I also,
which it looked like it had a lot of fresh fruit on it and things like that.
I was gonna say this movie makes me want like sweets for some reason. Just the whole vibe of it makes me like want like a piece of cake or something. So yeah, definitely like a fruity wedding cake could be a real vibe.
So what would you follow this up with? Because for me, it feels like there's only one obvious choice, is to go with the sequel. Like, I know I don't love to tell people to like watch something that's so similar, but Mamma Mia is such like this entity in itself. I personally have been racking my brain to find like something good to follow it up with, and the only thing I can say is just to watch the sequel.
So I think that's fair. But I can also see how at the end of this movie you might have the desire to not continue the excitement. You know, you might want something a little different. So the two that came immediately to my mind were the Spike Lee film She's Gotta Have It, which is about the main character. Her name is
oh my god, wait, I love this.
Yeah, her name's Nola Darling. She's the main character, and she's kind of entertaining these 3 guys in her life who all kind of bring something different to the table. So it's about her and her 3 like lovers and how she kind of navigates that whole situation. There's also a really great Netflix TV show which was also directed by Spike Lee based on the movie. So I recommend watching the movie and then also, you know, dip your toes into the TV show if you enjoyed it. I really did. And so
this is a very smart
thank you.
Second film,
because it is like Donna, and she has these 3 men who she, you know, was entangled with in the past, and it's more about like the repercussions of what had happened during that summer kind of coming to fruition. Whereas this movie is about like it is the Mamma Mia Here We Go Again of Spike Lee movies, if you will, where she's kind of she has these 3 boyfriends and she's just kind of dealing with that. So I felt like that, you know, 1 girl, 3 lovers as the theme made a lot of sense.
I love that a lot.
And then kind of to take a hard turn for like bad bitches singing through the power of friendship, obviously Sister Act. You got to get in like you and your girls jamming out to some fucking shit that's unifying you through the power of song. And not quite the same vibe as Mamma Mia, but if you're going for like a musical,
no, I'd love this.
like a girl boss, lady power musical movie moment, definitely go for Sister Act. Those are my two suggestions.
Oh fuck! How did I not think of that? Genius, because Sister Act is probably one of my like top 5 favorite movies. That is gorgeous suggestion. It's not like this is a very heavy-handed musical, and Sister Act is very subtle, and it's whoopee, and I feel like it is very close to the same amount of fun that you get from Mamma Mia.
Absolutely, but it's just in a different way. So those are my 2 suggestions. What would you give this out of 10? I feel like I already know your answer.
I feel like I've talked enough about how close to my heart this movie is, so I have to give it a 10. It's one of those, like, does it actually deserve a 10 in, like, the scale of, oh, how good is this movie? No. But it's a 10 to me. And I could watch this, if I was going to watch one movie for the rest of my life, I would probably pick this movie, because I've already seen it, like, tens of hundreds of, not actually, but, like, so many times.
That's amazing. That's crazy to me. that this is if one for the rest of your life.
It's my...
That's true. You would be dancing for eternity.
Movie.
You would just be busting a move for all of...
I would not be mad about it. Yeah, I'd say I've probably seen this movie, like, reasonably 30 times, so... I
think this is... What Emily is to Mamma Mia as Dara is to National Treasure.
Exactly.
I feel.
Exactly.
Like, I'm gonna have to give
this... One of those things.
I hate to, like... burst
my bubble.
But I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I think all 7 of those points
that's
go
fair.
for like pure vibes, fun. I don't think I would like throw this on intentionally if I was looking to really watch like a movie like super. Maybe I'd like have it on in the background while you're like cooking or something. It's really fun. You could definitely throw it on, and whatever, if it's on TV, like whatever point it's starting at, it doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
Like if it's just on. But to me, it isn't. It's not like greatest films of all time type level stuff, but it is a lot of fun. The singing song, ABBA's great, so 7 out of 10 from me.
Yeah, that's a very fair rating.
So for the rest of this month, we'll be hitting you with some musical themed movies. We're pretty excited about it. Hopefully we'll get in some of the ones that you guys have been asking us to do as well. We always try to take your suggestions into consideration, so if you ever want to send anything into us, hit us through our DMs on Twitter or Instagram at The Swamp Pod. Our email, theswamppod@gmail.com. Our TikTok, please check out our TikTok, which is The Swamp Podcast. Our website, theswamppodcast.com, where you can find our merch, all that jazz. Let us know what you think about Mamma Mia. Let us know who you would fuck, marry, kill for Donna and the Dinos, the hardest question ever asked.
Genuinely our most difficult one yet.
Oh, I did want to say, though, last week during Silence of the Lambs, I said that Jodie Foster and Kristen Stewart should be cast as mother-daughter in a movie, thinking it was the most brilliant casting thought I had ever had, and like 87 people came into our DMs, and they're like, Panic Room already exists, including my own mother, immediately. Immediately texted me, and she was like, Dara, like, you made a big social blunder here. Like, that movie already exists. So, little corrections corner, I guess. I'm sorry, I'm uncultured and have never seen Panic Room.
Wait. So speaking of our Silence of the Lambs episode, we have a drawing this week.
Yeah, that's so true. So we did a giveaway.
What was Clarice's zodiac sign was the question.
We asked you guys what Clarice's zodiac sign was. There is a correct answer. You can find like through information based on the books and stuff about what it is.
I do believe she is a Virgo, from what we've learned. Yeah,
but we didn't really care about the truth. We cared more about your reasoning, which some of you gave us some deep dive shit into what you thought Clarice's zodiac sign was, which I was honestly obsessed with. So let me just take a look through the ones I have written down. All right, Emily, pick a number between 1 and 15. 1 and 15.
I'll let Google pick. All right, let's generate. 12. Number 12. Who's 12 on your list?
All right. Gaddis Emily. Gattissemily.
All right, well,
So
You've won.
Emily Gaddis, I think, is probably your name. We'll be hitting you up through Instagram. Thank you for your answer. Emily, we will be in your DMs. We'll send you some free merch. To anybody else who's listening, we later this month will have another musical related giveaway question. So always keep your eye out on our social media and just, keep your ears open. And we'll ask you a question. You can send it in. We give out free merch each month. We are way over time now, so thank you so much for listening. You're welcome that we didn't sing this episode, and have a great rest of your day.